Increase in the number of finalists is also likely. Well, these were among several suggestions discussed during the first live national consultation on cropover on CBC TV8's current affairs program, The People's Business.
For now, it's just a proposal as the National Cultural Foundation wants buy-in from all stakeholders. CEO Cranston Brown says the matter will have to be thoroughly discussed before a decision is made.
We want a very broad discussion nationally. We want to raise it here because what would happen now is that you would sing 2 songs in tenths as normal. But what would happen is that the higher scoring song, you would choose then to carry forward that song. So in other words, you can sing 2 songs in the tenths. You can judge with 2 songs, but the song that receives the highest points would be the one going forward for that particular Calypsonian. And what we would do is, instead of carrying 8 Calypsonians to the finals, we carry 16.
Calypsonian Colin Spencer supports the one-song proposal. He's however cautioning that it should be introduced on a trial basis.
Let's say the NCF say, well, you're going to try it for 2-3 years to see how it works. Because very often at preliminaries, you hear a song and it does a song very great to the listener. But this guy is a composer and he works on the song, and at semi-final you hear a completely different song.
Entertainer and MC Matt Fingal does not believe the move will contribute to the death of social commentary.
Social commentary does not have to be dead music, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
Jack was a social commentary. California Brothers social commentary. You know what I mean? These are songs that won road marches.
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't have to be the content that makes it social or political.
Several issues of concern were also placed under the microscope during the live consultation. Minister of Culture Stephen Lashley suggested innovative ways may have to be found to address concerns of noise and short times. He says special legislation may be needed for cropover, through which special zones can be created. The minister also suggests the much talked about sunset legislation will be coming soon.
We've had a recent meeting with the subcommittee of cabinet to look at the specific areas that we need to fix. But these are areas that we have to fix by legislation. There are areas that have to be fixed by changing attitudes, changing how people facilitate, changing how departments operate in relation to persons who want to have things done efficiently. That is something that has to be worked on, I agree. But I believe that the legislation that we want to work on to ensure that those areas that are now bottlenecked by all archaic laws are removed. We are determined to do that.
Key stakeholders were among the live studio audience, including Amanda Reefer, bandleader of Fantasy Barbados. She highlighted some challenges bandleaders face.
In dealing with authorities, dealing with departments, it is really difficult to do business in Barbados, and that's one of the things that if we give the support where it's necessary, we can see a flourish of all of the activities, but we need to get back to the real critical issues that we face before we look to export cropover.
Callers to the show also weighed in during the consultation. Kishmar Senjis, CBC News.
Thanks, Kishmar. Well, you may or may not recognize them on the roads. They're a fleet of electric cars on the island, helping to move Barbados forward on its quest to becoming a green economy. Joe Edgell, who drives an electric car, took cameraman Patrick Murray and I on a ride and answered some questions on the EVs. This Nissan Leaf is one of 100 electric-powered cars on the road. Imported by Mega Power, its popularity is growing as the alternative to the fossil fuel drinking, emissions-producing combustible engine. There's also the Segway, lesser used but just as efficient and environmentally friendly. And this, according to Joe Edgell, a director of Mega Power, is the #1 benefit to having these types of vehicles. They produce 0 emissions and are cheaper to run.
The cost of running the vehicle is 9 cents per kilometer driven. I tell persons, if you were previously paying $600 at the pump per month, you would now expect to be paying about $200 in electricity.
Ms. Edgell explains how far one can drive once the vehicle is fully charged.
I did what I like to term the Round Barbados Lighthouse Challenge. So I drove starting from South Point Lighthouse to Ragged Point, East Coast Lighthouse to North Point Lighthouse, down to the Lighthouse by the Hilton and back to South Point. And I still had 30-odd kilometers left on the clock.
She says in April 2010, mechanics from institutions like the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic, Skills Training and others were trained specifically to deal with electric vehicles.
We trained 10 mechanics and certified them in International Motoring Institute Level 3 award in repair of electric vehicles and replacement of the battery, which included the high voltage component. And we now work with 2 of these mechanics to ensure that all of our customers' vehicles are inspected and serviced according to the manufacturer's guidelines.
Mega Power is now working in Grenada and Dominica to do a Caribbean-level training before year-end. Now, a concern remains about the price of the vehicle. Barbados now pays about 55% in duties and taxes on them.
That actually translates to about 30,000 Bajan paid at the port, and that's still quite high as a comparison for what the rest of the region is doing. So in Antigua, for example, they recently zero-rated duties and taxes on electric vehicles. In St. Lucia, they range between 5 and 10%. Trinidad is also zero-rated.
Ms. Edgell says there are plans to go beyond cars into shuttle buses, taxis and other options to increase the number of these vehicles on the roads as the way forward for energy security and protecting the environment. The Bridgetown Port has welcomed another large vessel. It's the My Chief 3, which docked in the newly constructed Berth 5. While speaking at the plaque handover from Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Port Inc., David Jean-Marie, captain of the vessel, Ionis Anastasion, said the vessel has the capacity to carry 2,790 passengers and 1,030 crew members. He says it is a newly built ship just over a year old, which features an entertainment area, a bakery, sports and wellness areas, and is environmentally friendly. The captain says there was excellent cooperation between the pilot and port authorities. It will make 10 more calls to the Bridgetown Port.
For the forecast was everything perfect, actually, everything on time. No delay at all for the vessel. Actually, no complaints at all. It's good news. Thank you very much for the cooperation, actually.
A motorist was lucky to escape without major injuries after losing control of his vehicle on the Spring Garden Highway yesterday. Eyewitness Jared Leacock says the vehicle flipped a couple times around 4:40 in the evening. The car was driven by Kelson Lewis. It also knocked over a sign near the entrance of the Barbados Coast Guard.
I was just there in my car, and then I hear a boom. And I thought this car here, it came flipping towards me. At first I was nervous and thing because it keep flipping, but thanks to the sign and thing, the sign like it slowed down. And I here to live another day.
Leacock says he wasted no time in calling the emergency services. He says Lewis managed to crawl from the vehicle after the incident. We'll have more news ahead, but first we want to get your take on this question. Should Calypsonians sing one song instead of 2 for the Pickety Crop competition? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you at the end of the news.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
What's this, you ask? Oh, it's just spreadsheet smashing, hedge trimming, dog walking, weekend awaying, show boating, gravity defying, tree chopping, glucose nonology, energy fueling, barbecuing, glucose refueling, engine revving, crowd surfing, home commuting, crocodile wrestling, explosion ignoring, awesome kind of energy. Whatever you do, do it with energy. Across these fields and hills to the open sea. If ever I'm lost, I know you'll be there for me. Like a sunrise in my eyes, there's no other place I'd rather be. This is my
just got better. It's season 2 of the Tony Thorne Show. With new faces.
All the way from Vincy. What's up, it's a girl, Nikita.
Yeah, this is Peter Ram. This is Marvin. Yo, this is King Bubba.
Against the odds, you watch the Tony Thorne Show. New experiences. And new topics right here on CBC TV 8. So tune in.
As the Queen Elizabeth Hospital marks its 51st anniversary, efforts are being made to improve the quality of service delivered to patients. According to the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Dexter James, it's aimed at providing a positive experience. His comments came during his address at the hospital's anniversary service yesterday morning.
We understand that there are high public expectations in a number of priority areas. Some of these include continued improvements in our appointment systems and general management of our outpatient clinics, reduced and sustained improvements in waiting times at the Accident Emergency Department, reduced backlogs and waiting times for surgery, reduced backlogs for selected diagnostic services, and a more patient-friendly and empathetic caregiver.
Dr. James also revealed technology has been introduced to make the operations more effective.
We have introduced new medical technology such as laparoscopic, or more commonly known as keyhole surgery, so that patients can be seen as day cases rather than admitted to hospital beds. This has reduced lengths of stay by at least 2.2 days and ultimately the overall hospital cost. We are utilizing the benefits of information and communications technology to provide opportunities for real-time interpretation and reporting on various types of imaging studies.
Yet another government minister is raising his voice in support of using cell phones in schools and wants to see special labs to accommodate their full potential. He is Youth Minister Stephen Lashley, whose comments came during the opening of the visual arts portion of the National Independence Festival of Creative Arts. Mr. Lashley lauded the use of cell phones in the photography competition and believes this development will have a positive impact on the local economy.
The use of the cell phone in schools in particular ought to have been regulated rather than banned. And just as I believe that the playing of the drums at the school sports should be regulated and not banned, our youth, I believe, must be encouraged to become inventors of emerging generations of cell phone technology.
In response to continuous challenges in public transportation, the Barbados Transport Authority is examining the feasibility of overhauling the current system. This was revealed by Transport Authority Director Alex Linton. He was speaking during a public meeting to discuss a proposed pilot project on service integration focused on creating one standard for both private and public service transportation. The plan includes a unified rebranding of vehicles, standard ticketing systems, and rerouting. Mr. Linton says the project could be a major step in eradicating many issues in the current system.
Sometimes you miss the 6, you got to wait to 9, 10, 11, 12 on a bus. You know, we want to enhance that reliability. Regulatory compliance, we want the gentlemen to dress appropriately. We want them to cut out the radio, cut out the speeding, cut out the recklessness. Underneath the service integration project, it will happen.
As greater attention is placed on diabetes this month, one local group will be pushing Barbadians to get tested for the disease. Spearheading this drive is the Gloria Light Diabetics Group. According to its president, Hazel King, diabetes is a silent killer and it's important to know if you have it. The Gloria Light Diabetics Group and the Edgar Cochrane Polyclinic in Wolde will be staging a number of activities this week in the lead up to the World Diabetes Day on Saturday. The first was a church service at the Britons Hill Wesleyan Holiness Church. Other activities include a testing day and a visit to the St. Barnabas Senior Citizens Home. Pastor of the Britons Hill Wesleyan Holiness Church, Reverend Reginald Wooding, commended the group for starting off the week by seeking the Lord's blessing. He also encouraged people undergoing care to always show love and respect. And as it relates to the caregivers, he told them the nation is counting on them.
God has given you the ability that you can hang in. You believe that as a people this morning, especially you nurses? that God has given you the ability that you can hang in. It is therefore of great importance that as a group, you do yourself a good favor. And my first point to you this morning is that you live as a family. That is key. If you are going to be successful in your area, you have to see yourselves as family.
Well, she's usually the woman behind the fundraising drives, but this time singer and songwriter Christine Regis was at the receiving end as the Trident Motorcycle Club banded together to assist her as she battles sight challenges. In the past, Regis has written songs for several competitors in Junior Monarch and has organized several motorcades for the winners. Member of the group, Glade Christensen, says they were moved to assist when they heard of her plight and organized a fundraiser on the MC Buccaneer on her behalf.
We suggested that we have a benefit cruise and wanted to make it different than others, and so because one of her big things is karaoke, what we thought we would do is a karaoke cruise for her behalf. And we really appreciate all of the support that we've got here today to make sure this is a successful event for her. We hope to make enough money to completely pay for her surgery.
Christine says she's grateful and is looking forward to surgery.
I need to get lens implants. Well, I had one done, but I got struck in it a few days ago. So that's giving problems. And my left eye is in very bad condition. So after that, I think it'll be surgery.
Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from you on this question. Should Calypsonians sing one song instead of two for the Picardy Crop competition? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you at the end of the news. Remember, you can also follow us on Twitter at CBC_newsroom and on our Facebook page, CBC News Barbados.
Here's your chance to win it in a minute with Double Draw. 2 lucky Double Draw players will be chosen to compete during the 653 Double Draw show. You could win $550 in cash and fantastic prizes. Enter today.
Who want good times? Get them to be G-O-O-D-D-I-M-E-S. Get these snacks for the whole family. Lick off your fingers, yummy, yummy. Salted popcorn, nacho rings, caramel popcorn, all kind of things. G-O-O-D-D-I-M-E-S. Cashew nuts, put them in the mix. Salted peanuts, give me them quick. Raisin and nuts, corn, crunch, cheese twist. Barbecue sticks and high energy mix. Who want good times? Get them to we. Who want good times? Get them to we.
This week on Rejoice and Sing, the adrenaline is pumping and Nisha Woods is on fire.
Fire, 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 oh.
God's Holy Ghost fire deep down
in my soul.
Sing a deep down, somebody say
fire, 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 hey.
Next, we get up close and personal with Christian comedian Akintunde.
And I asked him, I said, God, can anybody be happy, successful, quality marriage, have all of your children with you, you loving them? And God said, you can have all of that, but only if you come to me through my son.
And guess who we found in the archives?
If we carry the weight of the world upon his shoulder.
Rejoice and Sing, brought to you with the good wishes of Sewing World Department Store and Black Image Cosmetique for all your curtain needs this holiday season.
The authorities in Guyana are working with their U.S. counterparts to determine who are the players involved in a gold smuggling and money laundering racket.
Now that Guyana and United States authorities have uncovered
that several Guyanese gold exporters have been smuggling out huge quantities of gold from Guyana and on arriving in the U.S. have been declaring the precious metal as scrap gold, Minister responsible for Natural Resources Raphael Trotman, speaking with Nightly News, said that both Guyana and the United States have reasonable suspicion